And here we are. It's a late night session. After dark. PexPals.
It's me, Revenant. Hey, I'm standing in for CowVan. I just wanted to come in and say, CowVan's pretty cool.
That's cheesy. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop that.
I was gonna try to do the Loba voice after that and chase you off, but that would have gone like terribly.
That would have been bad.
So I'm really glad you stopped.
That would have been really bad.
I'm really glad. What's up, everybody?
What's up? Well, what's up, everybody? It is episode 22 of PexPals, the only Apex Legends podcast for the mediocre gamer. My name is CowVan.
And my name is JoelCupcake, and we are some mediocre gamers.
Some mediocre gamers. Make sure you check us out wherever you get your podcast. Hit a review, hit a rating. Check us out on all the social medias. Type in PexPals. You're bound to find us.
Yeah, we actually. I'll take 2 seconds to say this. We decided to join the real world, and we actually have a Twitter and a Facebook page now.
Yes,
we are on every social media platform. It's just at PexPals Podcast.
Yes, try to find us.
Try to find us. Give us that like, follow, thumbs up, whatever the hell, review.
$5.
Whatever. Ooh.
Yeah, $5 you won't.
Ooh, shenanigans?
Shenanigans. Yeah, check us out. Wherever you get your podcast.
Comment. Hey, Farva, what's that place like to eat at with all the funky shit on the walls?
Shenanigans.
Oh.
So check us out wherever you get your social medias. Check us out everywhere. We got a quick little fun show today. Just some season 10 highlights and ideas and just some what is it? I never remember water cooler talk. Water cooler talk.
Yeah.
Like you're in the workplace and you're all gathered around the water cooler. You just talking about
the lunchroom expose.
Yeah, the gossip, the word around the block. We got a bunch of that going on. But JoelCupcake, I need to ask you, what is your weapon of the week?
Well, you know what, Calvin? My weapon of the week. Well, I mean, honestly, it's the alternator, but that's a care package gun, so I don't want to have that discussion. I think we'll save that for our season 10 recap about how beautiful that gun's been. Okay. I am going to say the Volt.
Oh.
I don't know what it is. At close range, the L-Star is still better for me.
Okay.
And so is the Prowler. But this last week, I did a lot of ranked grinding on the console lobbies. I'm almost a plat.
Nice.
And I got 2 more 2K badges, one on Fuse and one on Loba, which is funny because I only ever play Loba for like the memes.
Yes.
Or when I'm like extremely frustrated at the loot pool,
Dude,
and
shop OP, dude.
Dude, Loba, bro, without that new bracelet update,
it's good.
And one thing I'm kind of learning, especially when I'm in all console lobbies, is I can tell the things that go on around me that cause those sound issues that we're always bitching about on the show.
Right.
So when I know, we're fighting a team with a caustic, and I see a bunch of gas going off, or I see the other team has a fuse, and the fuse ult's going off. Okay, they can't hear me, dude. I was running fully max kitted purple gear Volt with a gold gear, like gold mag and Digi-Threat Prowler. That was my loadout. That's nasty, bro.
That's
Volt
gross.
Prowler.
That's gross.
And so I was I just teleported behind 2 teams in a row, and it was just like, bye.
Yeah.
Bye. And so, Prowler was, I think, my weapon of the week last. Well, I think Fuse was my weapon of the week last week.
Yeah, Fuse was your weapon of the week.
Prowler, I think, was my weapon of the week before that. So this week, it is the Volt.
Volt.
I think the Volt is, if we could add an extra genre for like distances, there's close range, medium range, and long range.
Yeah.
If you added a close to medium, like in between.
Yeah.
The Volt, I think, is the number 1 gun for that range category.
It's huge, man.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yes.
I personally can't use the Volt. I don't know what it is about me and that gun. Every time I use it, I fuck up. So more power to you.
You know what, Calvin?
What's
funny? The other day, first off, I was playing last night with some friends. I had just the games. It was like Sweatlord Central. First off, terrible loot Central. First game, I get fully kitted. Guess what it is?
What is it?
R301.
Yeah.
And guess what?
What?
Lost every fight. Like I just don't like.
That's so good, dude.
Like I was, dude. It's like so weird, man. It's like every half a season,
yeah.
I just like forget how to play the game with that weapon, and it's just that weapon. It's like I have days where my aim sucks. I know that. I have days where I'm like whatever. Like the two guns for the last, I would say, 4 months of this game, I cannot kill anyone with are the R301 and the Mastiff, which are like the two of like the 5 most preferred weapons. You know, what I mean?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
What about what about you, Cal? What's your weapon of the week this week?
I have 2 weapons of the week. I have 2 weapons of the week.
That's cheating, but I'll allow it.
Okay, but I have 2 weapons of the week. My first weapon of the week is only because I've only started using it because it's gold right now. Usually I just pass it up, but now that it's gold and I see it on the ground and it's not gold, I still pick it up. Is the charge rifle? Like
so good.
I was playing with our friend Muffin the other day, and we were done. We both like had 1 block of health left. We were both dying. This fully health bloodhound and a full health Lobo, because we're playing duos, start pushing us. And so I was like, oh man, I bet they're pushing. So I look, the bloodhound's running right at us. So I just 2 fully charged shots. Like I don't know how much health he had, but I did 2 full charge blasts on this dude's face, and then he drops, and then the Lobo comes up. She's like, "What's going on?" And then I hit her, and then I kill her. Like I love
like everybody. Just a reminder, we record the episodes on YouTube. Like Calvin made this like just like a millisecond of like a you're a dumbass look. Like when he said like the Lobo's like, "What's going on in the corner?" Like it's just sorry. That's why I'm laughing and interrupting you, Cal. Like that was a great face. I loved it.
That's what happened. And Muffin goes, "Did you just do that?" And I was like, "Yes, I did." Because like it was stupid. It was so dumb that it worked, and it should not have worked because it's a fucking charge rifle, but it worked. But I've been having so much fun. It's almost like people forget that the charge rifle exists, and then they just eat shots to the face. It's the dumbest thing.
It is. And you know what, Calvin? I'm laughing about this because I had the debate with some friends the other day on like what is like, because last episode we talked about how I had the game with Fuse where I didn't pick up a gun. You know what I mean? What's like the thing? What's the thing that's like hard to do, or like what's like the most rewarding dumb thing you can do in the game, right? Yeah. For me, that thing is killing you with the charge rifle from the hip fire position. Yeah. Like when I probably only do it like twice a month. But especially if it's like, waterfall and they're coming up the hill and I'm sliding down the hill, hip fire and get the charge rifle ping and the drop. Dude, I just like start laughing, telling everybody to lick my this and suck my that. Like it's like, you know what I mean? It's like hilarious to me. So I'm really glad you brought that gun up, dude.
No, it's true. Like I said, I am a sadist and I prefer the Sentinel. Obviously, everybody knows that about me. But now recently when I see the charge rifle, I'm like, I could do this. And then I pick it up and just shoot people for no. Here's a tip, mediocre gamers. If you're trying to get one of those damage badges, use the charge rifle. I'm not even joking. This is true. Stay back, don't engage, third party, fifth party, and just charge rifle people. Like you get so much damage so fast. You run out of ammo very fast, but you get so much damage so fast, and from a safe distance. So I would recommend using, if you want to get damage man, try it out.
I'm gonna second that with the charge rifle. That was one of the ways I got one of mine. The other thing is, I don't play super aggressive with Fuse because I like to take advantage of his long range capabilities. Yeah. Listen, people. Calvin and I have been fully standing the Rampage this season. If you have a team that plays aggressive, if you are the person watching the flank, hang back a little bit and just use the Rampage. Yeah, like you will get your 2K badge. You will and if you're in a good lobby where not everyone, not 3/4 of the lobby drops fragment right away. If you have the ability to do multiple fights and you pull out that Rampage and you can hit the shots at a distance, you will get the 2K badge that way.
Very true.
But I'm sorry, Calvin, what was your second weapon of the week?
My second weapon of the week is the bow.
Okay, stop. You're done. Yeah, get off the show.
I said this last week or the week before too. Yeah. The bow is just I'm at the point now where I'm just trying to have fun. Yeah. And so I just go in and I pretty much grab the first 2 weapons that I see, I take. And oftentimes, because no one's using it, it's the bow. So the RNG is higher, so it's just everywhere. But people just eat bow shots to the face. I don't know what it is about the bow. I don't know what it is about the charge rifle. People just eat the shots to the face, and I'm having a good time.
See, as a mediocre gamer, I cannot believe you just said that to me, because those are the two things. Like, I will straight, if I get bowed in the head and immediately get my armor broken, I'll leave my team. I'll be like, someone's got a bow, I'm out, and I'll just turn around and run. I'll throw my caustic gas on the ground so they can't see me, and I will just slide down the hill and be like, later, nerds. Like,
oh my god, dude!
And the charge rifle is just, especially when you play Caustic, who's got, I mean, I think he's the third biggest hitbox or something like that.
Yes.
I forget. We'd have to look at the chart.
Like that.
But he's towards the bigger end of the spectrum, as he should be. But the dude, like, I just get, if I'm caught out in the open by a charge rifle, that's it, bro. Like, game over.
Charge rifle, you can't get away from it, and that's what makes it so good, dude. It's like, it's crazy. So into our first topic, the biggest news, the biggest thing that's going on right now in Apex Legends. And everyone was praying for it. Everyone's still crying about it. The Seer nerf.
The Seer. It you know what? It happened. You know what I mean?
It happened.
But you know what, Calvin?
What's that?
We both agreed it needed to happen. You know,
it needed to happen. And I mean, to some extent, there's still some things that they could do to tweak it. But it definitely needed to happen. So for those of you who don't know, Seer on earlier this week on Tuesday. Seer was Monday. Seer, a patch came out that patched the new legend Seer. His passive ability, which is a heartbeat sensor, which you hold down the ADS, and he throws up a heartbeat sensor. It used to be at 300 meters away, you can see someone moving around. And then once they got him with a certain radius of you, you can actually pick him up on your heartbeat sensor. But they greatly reduced that. So the increased wait time between sensor spikes for full HP targets, it went from 1.25 seconds to 1.75 seconds. So it takes a longer time for him to like zero in on you when he's close. They removed the center circle ellipses, which I don't know what that is. They reduced the range beyond 75 meters. So now he can't see you unless you're in the 75 meters.
The ellipsis, from the few times I played him, Calvin, I think like it was almost like, so you know how it's the oval, right?
Yeah.
And then the pings are on the side. If you were directly on the person, I think the inside of the ring would light up.
Oh, no way.
So I think that's what they got rid of.
Oh, okay. But
cool. I don't know what it looks like, because remember, I play on like a weird color setting.
Yeah.
So I don't remember.
I never really paid attention to it anyway. So I never really play. I don't play much Seer.
Yeah.
And then the last thing they changed for his passive is while you're doing it, you get a reduced field of view, so you can't just see everything. So it's like a little bit of risk of using it because someone could walk up on you. Mm-hmm. His tactical, which is the biggest thing that everyone complained about, because if you don't remember before, his tactical used to hit you for 10 damage. It would stun you, interrupt you, and highlight you. It did all these things for you, and threw a big white flash on the screen. So like they wanted to dial it back a little bit. So they increased the detonation delay. So when you press the button, the time it takes from you to press the button and for the thing to actually go, they increased it from 1.4 seconds to 1.6 seconds. And I think it's because a lot of people were seeing it hit them, trying to jump out of the way, but then still getting caught in it. So they increased the duration on it, or they increased the delay so that there's a little bit more time to escape.
And I will say, you know, because it's been a couple days since that patch, it worked, Calvin. Like I've been able to avoid it not all every time, but more than I was. Like so I agree. Continue, my friend. Continue.
I agree. Players hit are no longer damaged or flashed, so they've taken off the 10 damage, which is huge, right? Because I have personally killed people with the flash. It's so dumb.
It was. I don't know what they were thinking with that.
But anyways, so they took off the damage and they took off the flash, so it doesn't just go in your face anymore. So it doesn't obstruct your field of view. And then screen shake has from being hit is also reduced. So there's some screen shake. So like it was the ultimate attack. It was honestly before the nerf. It was the ultimate attack because you couldn't do shit after you got hit. But now. What's up?
No. I thought you were done with your statement. I was
no. So they took off the damage, they took off the flash, And they reduced the screen shake too. So like before, this thing was just hooking you up.
Yeah, like it was so bad. How do I say this in a way that makes sense to the casual listener? Everyone listening to the game, to the show, playing the game, everyone knows that Caustic gets a lot of hate. Okay, I play Caustic because he's my main and I enjoy playing him. Now, as someone who's taken time off Caustic, I've spent a lot of times on the non-defensive legends, right, Cal?
Yeah.
Seer and how oppressive his bullshit was made me want to be the person that just goes and camps a building. Because even if they see me, well, you gotta wade through 4 of my mines, and now my Caustic ult charges faster. Like it literally, it reinvigorated me to play the character that he got buffed a little bit.
Yeah.
But the fact that you could kind of sort of hard counter Seer by bunkering down,
right,
reinvigorated me wanting to play him.
Right, I get that. That makes sense.
So I love the tactical nerf. And then what else? I know there's at least 1 or 2 other things, right?
There's a couple more, specifically for the tactical. For the Seer, they move slow added while holding the tactical. So while you're doing the attack, you can't sprint anymore. It slows you down. So while you perform the tactical, they lower the volume on it because I guess it was really loud. I really didn't know. And then
it was like Fuse Ultimate loud, Calvin.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Like if I was next to a Seer on my team and they did it was like when I do the motherload inside, which you guys all laugh at. It was like that loud.
Yeah. And then they fixed tactical effects being visible from fire range, but it's not supposed to. So that's just fire range stuff. And then the last thing they did with Seer is they did some nerfs, or not nerfs, but some changes to his ultimate, his giant orb sphere of view that he has.
Yes.
They increased the cooldown from 90 seconds to 120 seconds, so a minute and a half to 2 minutes. And then they also lowered the volume on the audio for that. So Joel, like we've already hinted at it already, but have you seen a large difference in the games because of Seer's nerfs?
So I played a couple games of Seer yesterday to try it out. I've been playing with Seers. I will say I see a lot less Seers, which I feel like the final rings are a lot better because you don't have the ability to just be hunted down rigorously. So I really the only notable difference to me is I'm seeing less of him. And people are spamming that Q a little less because it doesn't do damage anymore.
Yeah.
I think the character is being played a little bit more tactical. And I think, from everything I've seen, there's this debate on the internet. Like, is Seer a big brain character? Is he hard to play? Is he not? Is he simple legend to play? I think they wanted a character, like from all the things we've seen in all the dev threads on Twitter and the posting on Reddit, they want you to think, like the whole reason they do the health bars and the interrupts is they want you to be, oh God, tactical with his tactical.
Right.
And I think they're achieving that with this. It was just like, you and I had a big discussion, like I think it was like 8 episodes ago, about how like Horizon kind of broke the game. Like the way she was played, her ability to aim, like it doesn't make sense with the way Apex is played as a video game. And I think Seer was that way. And I think this balance is a lot better. Honestly, the number one thing I like, Calvin, about these changes is the night we were playing with Dan Fonts, love you, Dan. And he explained to me that you could hold the tactical button and the sprint button, and you could full sprint with your heartbeat going. I was like,
wow.
That's like Bloodhound's ultimate. That's broken.
Yeah, that's literally Bloodhound's ultimate. Holy shit.
Yeah, and I didn't know that because every time I played Seer, like I'm like walking around all slow as shit with like in my old man walker, like there's no one around, guys. Well,
leave it to a Call of Duty player to figure that out.
love you, Dan.
Fuck Dan.
But so I'm seeing a lot less of the Seer. That's really it. I think it's fair. It's a lot. I've been maining Caustic so much, I was not that annoyed with Seer because his thing doesn't affect my mines.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I did notice, and I'm really curious, I was going to ask you to kind of like deep dive Reddit with me about this.
Okay.
The one thing I am curious with his tactical is the way the interrupt scripts works. Because remember, I told you there was a couple games where I'm throwing my caustic grenade and they see or attack me, and then what it does is it causes my grenade to fall straight to the ground instead of going to its destination. So I don't think it's supposed to work like that, because once the grenade leaves my hand, you shouldn't be able to interrupt it.
Right.
Because the only thing that does that in the game is supposed to be Watson's pylon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so I saw, I don't know how old this video was, but I saw a video on Reddit of a dude popping a Phoenix kit, and he was 0.1 seconds away from completing it, and he got hit with the Seer tactical, and it interrupted his Phoenix kit. So I guess, I don't know how old this video is, but I guess it's still interrupting actions, which I think is kind of messed up, because if there's, I don't know, I don't think there should be anything that can go through walls to interrupt you from healing or doing something, right? I think something has to, like, so for example, right? Everyone's still pissed about thermite grenades hitting you through a wall, which is bullshit, right? So
100%.
If I can't shoot through a wall, right? Call of Duty. If I can't shoot through a wall, right, then nothing should be able to go through this wall. And so I don't think Seer's tactical should interrupt you through a wall. I'm sorry. That's just bullshit. I think it's bullshit. So I don't know if it's still doing it right now or not. I think it's bullshit.
It is. I'm okay with it because it's an interesting mechanic, and I like that it shows the health bars. I think the problem is not, and I was talking to some of our mutual friends about this yesterday, Calvin. The problem is not his passive or the fact that it interrupts anymore. The problem is that Apex goes forwards and never looks backwards. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We compare Apex to Overwatch a lot. Side note for our new listeners, like, we don't like talking about Overwatch, especially after the Blizzard fiascos. We don't support the game, but it's Apex is more like Overwatch than any of the other BRs. That's why we bring it up a lot. Okay. Yeah. Apex or Overwatch used to backwards engineer some of the legends or some of the heroes. Apex does not do that. So the problem is that, like, you know, I've seen these threads where, Bangalore's smoke should block Seer's tactical. Gibby's bubble should block it. Like, I personally think Watson should be the hardest counter in the game to Seer, because all of Seer's abilities are nano drones. And Watson shoots everything that's electronic out of the air. I don't care if those nano drones come out of Seer's heart. That doesn't that does not matter to me. Yeah. It doesn't say mystical nano drones. It just says nano drones. So Watson's pylon should hard counter him. I think the issue is not necessarily, like, I don't have a problem with the interrupt because it's a new interesting element of gameplay. I like it because if I'm paired with a Call of Duty player and we get seared, the Call of Duty player, that's the only time they'll stop pushing without the team. Well, it's like, we all got interrupted.
Right, but the thing about that thing is this. This was a big topic when Seer dropped. What's the point of playing Bloodhound then? Right? Because Seer does everything that Bloodhound does, literally does everything that Bloodhound does, but Bloodhound doesn't interrupt you when he scans you. Seer does, and sees your health bar. It's bullshit. And if they're nano drones can't go through fucking walls, man. So like, what? Yeah. It's dumb. I think it's dumb. I'm glad that they quickly addressed how OP Seer was, and they put out a patch, but I still think that there's some more that they could be doing.
And they've said that. Yeah. They're like, he's in a good place. We're going to study it. I actually don't think they addressed it quick enough, and I think the community agrees. I'm seeing a lot of people complaining, like, thinking, hey, you guys addressed this in a great amount of time, but why was everyone felt like ranked was just ruined for 3 weeks?
Right.
Because of Seer, which I get it, whatever. We don't have to go back and forth about that.
Right.
You know, but like, they did it, and they've even said, we know he needs a few more tweaks and adjustments. So, hey, they're listening, and they're getting these things out faster. And I mean, dude, they dropped Valk without her being overpowered.
Right. So they know how to make a balanced character.
They dropped Seer, who was marginally overpowered.
Yeah.
But they very quickly, especially I mean, I think Respawn is still technically in a half work from home environment.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're not, the devs aren't all sitting in an office able to just fix this shit.
Right. No,
You know,
they're doing a good job. Here's the
for
thing.
it being addressed in 3 weeks, yeah,
Yeah.
I do agree. I think more needs to be done.
Right.
But it's going
they're
well.
doing a great job. They're doing a great job. Well, Rampart is not nowhere near OP. I think Rampart's fun, right? And she released fine. No patches to her, right?
No, they fixed it. They made the ult better.
They made the ult better, right? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. No nerfs is what I mean to say. Fuse has always been fun for me. And then they gave him a buff and they didn't nerf him. They gave him a buff, right?
A huge buff.
Valkyrie came out and she was fun, right? But for some reason the last two out of the last 5 legends they put out, Horizon and Seer on release, are just insane, bananas. And we had like a whole season of buff Horizon. Like it was bullshit. But they're doing a good job with Seer. I think they're doing great. Joel, we have a question or a comment directed for you. So for those of you out there who listen to us regularly all the time, you may have caught that I play Apex Legends on PC and my friend JoelCupcake here plays on console. And so obviously, if any person knows who plays this game, there is a huge difference in how the game performs.
Insanely huge.
It's an insanely huge difference, and mostly because of hardware limitations between the consoles and how crazy insane some PC builds can be.
Calvin and I actually had a debate last week about crossplay, and I keep saying they need to find a way to make it a little bit more fair for console players. And Calvin goes, they just shouldn't have done it.
They shouldn't have done it. Personally, I mean, you can attack me all you want.
No,
I don't think cross-platform should exist. I'm sorry. It doesn't make any sense because I have a 3090. You know what I mean? Like I have a 3090 GPU. I have a really good, I don't know which kind, but I got a really good processor. I got a really good computer, right?
Yeah.
It's not fair for me to play with someone who has a last gen console. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That it doesn't make any sense.
No.
I'm gonna see way more things that you are not. I'm gonna be able to respond faster. Blah 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 blah. Blah right?
The list goes on. Yeah,
the list goes on. It just doesn't make any sense. And granted, listen, I know that there are some console people, even if I have the best computer in the world and they have the shittiest console, who would whoop my ass. I know. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying on average, it's not fair.
Correct. Correct.
But so that's my thing. But we understand that there is a difference between the two. And so, Joel, we had a question from in an email.
An email question. Yeah, from Jeremiah.
Yes.
A reminder, everybody, if you have an email, whether it's a talking idea, whether it's a comment, whether it's a question, whether it's, hey, you want to come on the show and hang out with us, you can email us. It's just pexpalspodcast@gmail.com. So Jeremiah basically said he loves watching Calvin and I. He is an average player. He's really been struggling with trying to improve his aim on console. There's a few things I have for you, Jeremiah. The first thing I am going to tell you is probably going to get us a lot of shit on the internet, but I don't care. The first thing is, Jeremiah, don't worry about your headshots. You need to be able to hit your shots first. Every gun in the game has recoil. If you can perfectly hit body shots, you'll always get a recoil kick to at least one headshot a clip. At least.
Very true.
I still, to this day, with my improved KD, with the things I've been improving greatly over the last 6 to 9 months in the game, I still aim for the body. Because unless I have a gun like the Wingman, where if you do hit the headshot, it's ridiculously overpowered.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Dude, the Hemlock has been one of the guns that it took me 2 years to learn how to use. Now that I use that Hemlock, like you aim for like the neck on the Hemi.
Yeah.
The second or third bullet is going to hit them in the head.
Oh yeah.
So Jeremiah, so focus on your body shots. You can look up, there's a video online. You can actually, there's a couple characters that can do something where you turn the dummies on in the firing range and actually run around. So I prefer that to just like the targets that move back and forth, try that. See if you can get a homie that will come into the firing range with you and help you that way. Those targets are really good for like the close to mid range distance level. Like the ones that slide back and forth. Another thing that really helped me is like I had a few guns that I mastered. Like I have unwavering confidence when I pick up a Prowler, a Havoc, an Eva 8, and an RE45. Those are my guns, Jeremiah.
Right.
That's what works for me. So like, don't listen to the meta. We've talked about this on the show. Don't listen to the meta or the hive mind. Do what works for you. Season 2, Jeremiah, if you, I hope you're listening to this episode because I've said your name 4 times. If not, our other listeners are going to be like, this is weird.
I love how you keep saying his name. That's hilarious.
Season 2, and I mentioned this at least once on the show, maybe twice, Calvin. My highest KD season in Apex Legends is Season 2. My entire loadout for all of Season 2, okay, I shouldn't say my entire, my by and far preferred loadout for Season 2 was the RE45 and the EVA 8. That was all I used. That was it. Right. Do you know how many people that are good to amazing at the game would tell me I'm a dumbass for that? A lot.
Right.
A lot. But
to this day.
You know what? Yeah, but you know what? Those were the guns I was the best with that season, man. So that's what I went to,
Yep.
Like now, now I try to balance out what I'm using. Volt Prowler, it's nasty because it's 2 submachine guns and high fire rates, but Volt's good at medium range. I can't use it close range, so I have to make sure I have like a Prowler or something like that, know?
And that's the reason why we do Weapon of the Week. That's why we have our re-encourage segment of Weapon of the Week, is because like some weeks your favorite gun, it just doesn't work for you. And there's another gun that you just happen to pick up. And it works for you. So that's a really good point. Find your gun. Find your gun.
The other thing I will say is something that I took a really long time to wake up and pay attention to is there's ALS, which is advanced look settings you can turn on. If you want to watch some videos on that, the streamer Nice Wig has a really good one to watch. You can use that if you understand it. If you don't understand it, don't mess with your settings. Don't be afraid to do what works for you. Like my sensitivity, I play on 4 regular and 5 ADS, which most people think is absolutely insane. But my regular sensitivity being on 4, that allows me to hit the hip fire shots perfectly. The other way is too fast. You know what I mean? So mess around. Like you have those controls and those settings. The other thing that might help, I switched the colorblind mode I use because instead of it being a red dot, my aiming reticle is always yellow. So, and unless you're on Olympus, you don't have a lot of things that are yellow that conflict with your reticle. I was finding using red, like, anytime there's a thermite, hard to see. Anytime you're in anything with a shade of orange in it, like such as caustic gas or whatever, like it was hard to see, So I switched colorblind mode. That's another good hint.
It is.
If you have the money, get like an Elite controller or a Wolverine controller. I think does Scuff make Xbox controllers? They don't, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. You could also you could also go the custom controller route. It's a matter of preference. I use an Elite 2. Most people are recommending the Wolverine now. That seems to be the generalized go-to. That seems to last the longest. Like a lot of people complain about stick drift and stuff on the Elite. But there's some of that stuff. The final thing I'm going to say, if you want help with your aim, this is actually something I'm sticking Mr. CowVan here to in the next couple weeks. CowVan actually has a really good firing range routine where he actually went in and he walked me through every gun. He was like, what guns are you not comfortable with? I already knew what I was comfortable with. He showed me a lot about the weapons I wasn't comfortable with. And that is something eventually we are going to put up either on the show's YouTube or Calvin's personal YouTube.
Yeah.
And I think that will also help as well. There aren't a lot of easy to use videos that actually break down every gun. All they do are just like, do this, change these settings, pick up the guns you like and use them on the target. It's like, it doesn't actually, like there's certain things about like spread and hip fire and what like some people don't even realize what the changes on the reticles that you're using mean. You know what I mean? Like, so there's that.
Yeah.
The other thing is my final point, I think, for this question.
Your second final
My
point.
second final point. Yeah, we all know it. We all know. If you listen to the show, you know I go on and on and on. Is early on, I did not hip fire in this game. So don't be afraid of your hip fire because, I mean, dude, the Havoc is a gun a lot of people overlook unless you have a turbocharger, and it's almost always my default hip fire gun. I don't even ADS it most of the time anymore. I just have it around hip fire. So don't be afraid to try different combinations of guns. Like, my go-to combination this season of the most games has been Rampage and Eve 8 because Rampage has such a slow fire rate. You need something with a high fire rate to counteract it. So don't be afraid to play around with the different combinations and find something that works for you. Don't listen to the meta.
Yeah.
But that's great. But Calvin, we actually, on the note of fans, we had a comment on the YouTube
channel. So
from
thanks,
one of
Jeremiah.
your friends.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremiah, for reaching out to us. And on our YouTube page where we post the videos of us recording this live, we got a comment from J Bob, who's a really good friend of mine, good streamer friend. He's a Mirage main. And so I really like this comment. It's very timely for me because on Reddit, I often see some clips happening in Reddit Mirage mains. So there's a whole subreddit dedicated to Mirage mains, and they go in there and they talk about their clips or like little tricks that they do, and there's some hardcore clips, really good Mirage. So go check out Mirage mains on Reddit. It's a really good subreddit. But my friend J Bob is one of the very few Mirage mains that I know. And he has a tip for Mirage mains. He says, when you push people and you get caught out in the open, use your ultimate, right? So Mirage's ultimate spawns out like 6 or 8 clones, and they all just like run in weird directions and do crazy stuff. So what he does is he pops the ult, and then he runs backwards at the enemy. Because if you think about it, right, they're going to be looking for the person running at them. And he says about 80% of the time, he bamboozles them and he ends up behind them and he gets a free kill or knock. And let me just tell you, man, if that happened to me, I would be so pissed.
I think you would be bamboozled.
I would be bamboozled. I'd be so mad if I would honestly think that he cheated or something, because if a dude pops a bit of his ultimate and then runs backwards at me, and I'm like, that's not him. And then he ends up behind me, I'd be so mad. So for all you Mirage players out there, I think that's a good tip. Go check out Reddit Mirage mains too. There's probably a subreddit for your main too. So go check it out. There's definitely.
I think when we're doing this episode, I'm going to check and see if there's a caustic one.
I'm sure there is. There is. And so now, so thank you everybody for reaching out to us. If you have a comment, a tip, or something you want us to talk about, leave it on our YouTube channel. Check it out us out on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, wherever. Hit us up. We want to talk about the things that you want to talk about. But the last thing that we want to talk about here on the show is something that Joel has been very passionate about, and it's always been something that I kind of like to talk about too. But it's a really big thing going on in the Apex community. And Joel, what is the title of this segment?
You know what? This title of this segment, for all my lovely listeners out there, and my dear friend Calvin, why do your teammates hate you?
It's such a good question.
And I kind of came up with this segment idea, everybody, because I'm scrolling through Twitter, I'm in a lot of the Facebook groups. Calvin does a lot of the Reddit scrolling, but I'm in there sometimes as well. There's a lot of like, hey, you're leaving me right away, or hey, you're not even fighting with me, or hey, why didn't you res me, or like, there's a lot of comments from especially players that are either express that they're new to the game or that they're not good. Right. They're like, how can I get better if you don't support me? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start with is you don't use your ultimate. Like and this actually, I'm going to combine it with the second talking point.
Oh, no, I wanted to talk about the second topic.
Okay. Well, so basically you don't use your ultimate. The main thing I'm going to point out the reason I even made this sub note to talk about is we had a game. I did 22,000 damage, Calvin. I had an over 2K game, right?
2,200 damage.
Sorry, yeah, 2,200 damage. Sorry, everybody.
I was like, damn, new
I'm
record.
I'm not the smart one, guys. Guys and gals. Sorry, I'm not the smart one. I had a 2,200 damage game, right? Yeah. We had a Loba, and I don't want to ruin your point. So she hoarded all the gold items, including the helmet. And you know what she didn't do once the entire game?
No shop. Oh
no
my
shop.
God.
I'm sitting there pinging. Like I had no health the whole game. We spent half the game with my health bar about this much, Calvin.
Oh my God.
I had shields the whole time, but for some reason, like we were running and gunning, and like I was just not getting syringes or med kits out of the death boxes. Like
weird.
And so I leave it literally like I had my mic on and I was nice. And then at one point in time, I literally just like put the mic down. And I did the thing I said I'd never do. And I was like, pop your fucking store, Loba. Do you not know how to play the game? And then like the other person just started laughing. And I was like, I hate being a dick. And he's like, no, dude, you're right. Like I even watched her swoop that gold helmet from you.
Oh my God.
And I was like, which I don't care about. Like with the caustic stuff, I don't need the gold helmet. But so use your ultimate. Like know your character.
Right.
You know, like and if there's nothing wrong with you having a mic, and if you pop in and you're like, hey, I'm new to the game. I don't really know how to play Loba. Let me know when you want me to use my ultimate. Do you know how much more your teammates would probably like? They might not be happy to be your teammate, but they'd at least appreciate that you said that.
Yeah. No. And you know, and this is really good because it lends into our second point. And this is a huge topic in every single Apex community on every platform. This is a huge topic, and it's loot distribution, specifically who gets the gold helmet, who gets the gold backpack. Those two things are such hot topics for debate because it's incredibly frustrating when you see someone take an item that doesn't fucking need it. So, for example, everybody knows. Okay, do not argue with me on this. Everybody knows Lifeline gets the gold backpack. Lifeline gets the gold backpack. If there's a Lifeline on your team who does not have a gold backpack, you give the gold backpack to Lifeline.
And let me reinforce Calvin's point here. He means period. Like, I don't care if your team is a Lifeline, Gibby, and a Mirage. The Lifeline gets it first. And then the Gibby gets it. And then the Mirage gets it.
Because here's the thing, right? Everybody knows Lifeline makes the clutch reses, right? And Lifeline can res and engage. So why wouldn't you want to give Lifeline I've seen so many people take gold backpacks from Lifelines. It makes me so mad. Do not argue with me, okay? Second is Gibby, obviously, because he's got Dome and he's got quick res. And then third is Mirage, even though it's not the safest, but you go invisible and you get a res off. Like, everybody knows this. Everybody knows the tier. Now, that golden helmet, I play Octane. Octane should never, ever, ever get the gold helmet.
Okay, hold on. I want you to repeat that because Octane is still the number one pick legend right now. I think he's number two. Because after the nerf, Seer's back down. So Octane is the number one pick legend right now. Yeah. All you Octanes out there, you don't need nor do you deserve the gold helmet.
Octane should never get the gold helmet. There's no reason for me to stim myself and then immediately get it back while I'm still stimming from the first stim. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. There's no, Octane, no. I always give my gold helmet to Bloodhounds. I give it to Pathfinders. I give it to just anybody who has something in their kit that's not a selfish power or like a tactical or ultimate, right? Like Caustic, or Watson, or Bloodhound, or Pathfinder. Like you could go through the whole cast. Fuse. Oh my God, Fuse's knuckle clusters come back every 15 seconds. If you with the golden hammer or golden helmet, every 15 seconds you get a knuckle cluster. That's insane. So by the time that knuckle cluster you just shot off, like if you use both and you shoot one, you're already like 6 seconds away from getting another one. Like, it's so stupid.
I've literally tried that out. Calvin is 100% correct with that math.
Next point.
The next point we have, well, and actually, Calvin, this is what I want to slide something in to you. We didn't address the golden shield. A lot of people don't know what to do with the golden shield. Okay,
so
if everybody has a mic on, you should always ask who doesn't have bats. That person should get the golden shield, or the person that is the farthest away from leveling up their shield to the next tier should get it, unless you have a Watson.
Okay.
Watson should always get the gold shield because her passive coupled with her ultimate, she basically gets free shield recharge.
Yes. No, it's huge. I agree. I think Watson should always get the gold shield. If you have a Watson on your team, I think Watson should get the gold shield. Obviously, anybody can get the gold shield. It doesn't really matter. But I think the person who would utilize it best is Watson because she has passive shield regen. You pop your shield generator, passive shield regen, gold shield, and all she needs is one bat, and one shield cell, and she's probably already back at full shield. Just about back. Like Watson uses it the best, and I mean, you don't have to give it to the Watson, but if you're a good team player, that's the way to go. And then one last point, the gold knockdown shield. I think gold knockdown shield should go to whomever has the golden backpack. Because if you have a golden backpack, you can golden res yourself to full health or to half health. Like, that's just my personal opinion.
No, I agree with you. And if you don't have a healer, it should be the person with either the most escapability or the most cover. So, like, if you have a Gibby, give it to the Gibby because he can res and immediately pop the shield down.
Yeah.
If it's or if you have an Octane, I'm okay with Octane having it because Octane can immediately escape. If you have a Mirage, I personally think Mirage should always have the knockdown shield because he gets his ultimate faster than I think anyone in the game at this point in time, except maybe Octane. But Mirage's is so fast that, like, if you're down for a while, you'll get your ultimate because your ultimate still charges when you're knocked down. Everyone needs to remember that. Yeah. And you can just res and immediately pop your ult or run away and heal and then come back and get your teammates, I'm glad you brought that up, Calvin. Okay, next point. I think this is probably the most important point. I've made 2 points into one. You don't ping and you don't res. And like when I'm with a person, when I'm on a 3-stack team and 2 of us have mics on and the third doesn't, and they just run off and don't ping, don't communicate. Like, yes, I know there's a thing called map awareness, but Apex is a team-based strategy game. Yep. This is why they've said over and over, we will not add a solo mode because the game is designed and the characters are just designed to be played in tandem with each other. Yeah. So just ping. The other thing that I absolutely hate is, like, I'm going to go back to that same game where that Loba had the gold helmet and the gold backpack. She was late to the party one game. We're fighting teams. We're in a building. I have the whole room caustic mine, so we're protected. You know what I mean? She pings that she's going to attack. She goes and downs one, right? The lifeline reses the 2 down people. Okay. When Aloba's behind the wall in front of us reloading. Okay. You know what I mean? She comes in the building to finish healing, and I pinged where I was.
Oh, you were down. You were down.
Both of us were down. I'm sorry. I didn't get there. So I'm down and the other guy got crapered. And so this Loba, who is late to the party, mind you, she heals up, sees my caustic traps by the door, and just runs out and dies and wipes us. And I'm sitting there pinging myself like, dude, you had the time to res. Like, because it was a Loba, a Seer, and me, and the Seer had the ult out, so we knew where the enemies was. So it's like, use your pings, and res your teammates. Like, obviously, like, getting the fight is important. But if you're gonna thirst somebody instead of resing me, and it's not a dire situation, and you need a shield swap, you're gonna get yelled at. Yeah, as a teammate. Teammate.
It's true. I think people panic too much. And if they feel that they're not 100% safe, they're not going to go for a res. And one of the best healers in the game that I personally know is my friend Hammer. Hammer will literally run into a Gibby ult to res you.
I've seen that. I love it.
He mains Lifeline, or that's one of his mains. But even if he's not Lifeline, he will run into death to res you, and it works most of the time, because that's the way the game is supposed to be played, right?
Yes,
You're
yes.
supposed to go out of your way to help your teammates, because having more teammates gives you a better opportunity of winning the game.
Mm-hmm. And before we go away from this point, Cal, I want to add one thing. If you guys think I'm crazy about this pinging system and using it and communicating, okay, Apex has just patented the pinging system in the game, and they have left the patent open because EA has gotten more compliments on the pinging software in Apex than any other first-person shooter. They have had so many people complimenting and asking. Sorry, this topo is making me all burpy. Has gotten so many compliments that they are willingly leaving the technology patented but usable so that other people can expand it and make it better. Okay, yeah. Calvin.
No, so I just wanted to say the last thing about the pinging, because I wanted to say at the beginning, but we got sidetracked into the resing. When you're jumping, ping. I hate being jump master, diving us to somewhere, and the teammates aren't even looking to see if anybody's going to land with us. You know, like at least say, oh, ping, 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 where we're landing, because I know that when I land, there's going to be somebody there. I'm diving. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not paying attention to where everybody's at. Like, ping, come on, man, ping. So anyway, okay. So next point, and this
my next point. I want you to talk about this. I was actually about to make a joke. I'm not allowed to talk about this next point.
You're not. You're not allowed to talk about this point. God damn it. Okay. Then this next point, this might hit some of you a little too close to home. But some people, I won't name names. Some people take way too long to loot. And I don't know your reasonings. I don't know your motivations, but some people just take way too goddamn long to loot, or you loot too damn much. And so here's the thing. This is a podcast for mediocre gamers. And my friend Joel and I were talking about this particular subject the other day, and Joel said something that made me relax a little bit about people who take too long to loot. Joel and I were playing. Joel took too long to loot. I said, Joel, you're still fucking looting. And Joel said this. He said, listen, I know that I'm not good enough to do well in this game without some good attachments. So I have to loot. And that blew my mind. I never thought about it from that perspective, because most people aren't willing to admit that they are deficient at the game.
Correct.
Right? The whole purpose of this podcast is Joel and I talking about how we know we are deficient at the game. But that aside, there comes a time in the middle of a fight where you need to loot, right? You need to get a gun, you need to get a new shield, you need to get ammo, you need to get a bat, you need to get something real quick, right? But the longer you take to loot in a very specific situation, or most fighting situations, you're actually hurting your teammates because they're relying on you to be behind them, to the left of them, to the right of them. So try to be a little bit faster about your looting.
And as someone who's guilty of that, I'll give it a quick tip. I've been telling my teammates, we land in our initial location, we start moving right away. I've been better about the fastness. You know what I mean? Tell your teammates what you need. Hey, I'm ready to fight, but I need a stock, or I'm ready to fight, but I need a barrel, or hey, I've got a Volt and I'm kitted, but I don't have the mag, so I don't have enough bullets if we fight purple shields.
This is a nice segue into the next point,
which I will close out this why do my teammates fucking hate me segment with, because you don't communicate. Yes. Do you know how many times lately, especially, I've had someone that's like, hey, I'm new, or like, hey, this is my first season playing ranked, or if they're a kid, like I've literally have kids be like, I'm like, I can win most of my fights, but like, I don't know the map very well. So so I know the rest of the game. Hey bro, like make sure you stay with me, or, hey, we're moving to this location. Do you see the ping? Like it takes an extra 3 seconds of communication, but your gameplay will be that much stronger. Just communicate with your teammates. Like, I mean, Calvin and I have the problem when we play together is, usually I feel like, whereas I'm not strong in a gunplay sense, I am very strong in a tactics sense. So I usually drive the ship, so to speak. But Calvin is also that way. So like sometimes we'll be like, let's go here. And in my brain, I'll go, this is how I would approach this building. And I'll go over here and Calvin will go this way. And then we're split up.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're both like, I'm like, God damn it, Calvin, you weren't with me. And he's like, God damn it, Joel, you weren't with me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So that's why you have to communicate, because even players like Calvin and I, Calvin is a very good player. I'm an average player. And like, even us, we still make mistakes literally just because we're not communicating.
And we play with each other all the time.
Yes.
And so, and we still make mistakes. So,
yes.
And honestly, so the couple of seasons ago, I grinded to diamond rank, and I did it solo queue. I didn't do it with my friends. And a large reason for why I was able to do it was because I actively communicated with the people that I was solo queuing with. And I made it a point to try to talk to every single person or every single team that I got in, and it paid out because they were more receptive to me. Well, one, I was nice. Don't be a dick. One, I was nice to them, but two, I was like, communicating with them, explaining to them what I'm doing, like asking them what they need, what they're going, blah, 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 blah. So communication is, I mean, there's a reason why there's a voice chat in the game. There's a reason why on PC there's voice chat and typing so that you could communicate with your team. And honestly, the closer you are with the team, the more than likely that they're going to do something like jump into a Gibby ult to res you, if you're doing good communication with them. So
and you know, I know a hot topic that I keep seeing is the hate on Caustic. And yes, I'm bringing this up because I'm a Caustic main. Sorry, Cal. I hot drop Fragment a lot, and people are like, dude, why are we going there? And I'm like, listen for 2 seconds. I'm going to have 3 mines on the roof.
Yeah.
If you get, it's like, if you get cracked, don't push the fight. Just go to the roof. Because if you go to the roof, odds are one of us is probably up there healing and can back you up.
Yeah.
Or, dude, I mean, his gas is strong now.
It is.
So if you even do a little bit of damage to the person and they come and push you in the caustic gas, all you have to do is a little bit more damage. Even if they down you, my gas will kill them. And do you know how many times my teammates, regardless of if they're my friends or not, still don't listen to that, Calvin?
No, yeah.
They just try to run out the side door and then they get sniped by another team. And I'm like, dude, I literally just told you I have 3 mines on the roof. All you had to do was take the zip and you would have been safe.
Yeah.
So just communicate, people. That's
communication is huge. Speaking of communication, this has been episode 22 of PexPals. If you would like to communicate with us, please check us out everywhere at PexPals Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Check out PexPals on YouTube. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Apple Music, Apple Podcasts. I'm sorry, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, everywhere. Check me out on Twitch and on Twitter at CowVan. I think I'm at CowVan Man on Twitter. And check out my dear friend JoelCupcake here, worldwide, at JoelCupcake. Worldwide, every single platform. JoelCupcake.
I didn't even prompt you that time, Cal.
I'm all about it now.
I'm flattered, Calvin. I'm truly you have, as the Iron Sheik would say, you have broken my back and humbled me, Calvin.
If you wanna come reach out to us, go ahead and comment on any one of those things. We will definitely respond. We will definitely incorporate it into our show. Also, email us at pexpalspodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you. Yeah, and like Calvin said, do all that. Just do it. And don't forget to leave a review and download the show or set a little reminder for the weekly.
Do that.
You know what? Today, Calvin, instead of a phrase, I'm going to leave everybody with a tip.
Oh, okay.
If you've been frustrated by Seer, as a lot of us have the last 3 weeks, doesn't matter what the third is, have one of your buddies play Seer and play Bloodhound. You'll see how quickly that combo negates the other Seer.
Ooh.
Because no one will push you. If you tack them as Seer, and then the Bloodhound literally scans them 3-5 seconds later, I've literally seen teams just turn around.
That's hilarious.
Because they don't want to deal with that. So you know what? If you're a gamer lately, so frustrated with the Seer meta, as we're going to call it, do both recon characters. Screw it. Anyways, everybody, this has been another wonderful, fabulous, worldwide episode of PexPals. We hit some cool milestones lately. Thank you for our listeners. Thank you to our listeners for listening to us. I'm JoelCupcake. This is my good friend, my great friend CowVan. And this has been episode 22 of PexPals.
Bye.